Hello, everybody, and welcome to Undercut Realistic Series on F122. For the final time this season, in Season 3, we are here for Round 15 at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. We already had a real-life race already to begin this morning. Now we have this one in the Realistic League to end off Season 3. F1 ended off their season, and now we end off our season. I am Ryan Ocon31 in the comms box, and it is just going to be me today, it looks like. And for those of you wondering, I'm doing pretty well. But anyway, welcome back. Final time this season. For those of you who want to still tune into racing at the end of the year, we will still have an F2 series in the off-season. 4 weekends, 8 rounds. So that should be a lot of fun. Pluto has helped set that up. So if you're looking to still tune into some racing and you feel like, hey, there's a chance I won't get to see anything, well, there's your chance maybe that we have some racing. As for this final race, let's talk about the last race at Japan. For a moment we thought that it could go the way of Kostag with the way qualifying was going, but it ended up being Pluto. In a race he needed to win the championship, he took pole position. Good pole gap, too, over Chungus. Chungus with his, fourth, fifth front row, something like that. But yet to see the pole position. And when it came to the race, Kostag and Pluto got into an incident. The incident was deemed as a lag-related incident because Kostag was lagging into turn 2, and then in turn 3 he lagged back, which caused the crash between him and Pluto. That controversy was settled up, but for the win, it was Pluto and Chungus battling it out. Chungus could not hold on. Chungus still took the podium for the 3rd time. Paulo God saw the podium, and there was one chance he could just seize the victory, but could not do it. He had a chance to go through them, both them, maybe be side-by-side with Pluto on the run down to turn 1. If not, maybe slightly ahead, but there was the opportunity. It was wasted for him. But he wanted to, more importantly, focus on the chance for a podium. Being on the podium for 3 seasons in a row. He's now done that with Aston Martin. And there you have it. As for the rest of the results, Joseph made a good comeback, Surfy made a good comeback, and Riles as well. Lost a couple positions in the final couple laps, but ended up being up there. And as for the championship standings, Pluto is your champion. Jab crashed out of the race. So he claimed 2nd, though, with that, because Kostag as well. A little battle with Kostag on back, with Kostag, Joseph, Maddie, and Joe for 3rd place. And then the constructor standings, Haas have clinched the constructor championship, as well as a little battle for 2nd place between, I believe, is it AlphaTauri Williams, something like that? So we'll have to tune into that and see what goes on. And, we talk about previous seasons of the track. Well, this is a brand new layout. So, that is the good thing that we have. We have a brand new layout of this track compared to the last time we raced here. The last time we raced here, we saw a first-time winner. I think it was the 3rd of the 3 back-to-back-to-back night races back in Season 1. Sam Steed led every single lap, took a first race victory, and he almost had a Grand Slam, but dominant square. That's the one thing he'll be known for when it comes to racing in this league. He reserved for Red Bull that race, and he took over that fastest lap at the end of the race, securing another Red Bull fastest lap that season. They had 6 that season, I'm pretty sure. So, it's just incredible how that changed with the way the race was. Davis on the podium, Pluto on the podium, and I was 4th that race. So yeah, just have to finalize a couple of invites here, and then I think I'll be good when it comes to the lobby. That time around, you had the chicane at the end of Sector 1, beginning of Sector 2. Back in Season 1, now you have the reprofiled Turn 5, where we will see probably a lot of action at some point in this race. I've done a couple practice sessions with people, and we've seen a lot of action in that corner. A lot of dive bombs could be sent into there. And not only a lot of dive bombs, but a chance to maybe fake somebody out and think, hey, I'm going to go down the inside. Oh, well, you outbraked yourself. So that's exactly what happens in that corner, and we'll have to watch for it. As for the pens to be served, there's no pens to be served because the reserves in here do not have any penalties. And we'll get over the first starts and reserves in just a moment. We just have to figure out the rest of the invites. And welcome to everybody in the chat as well. All right. Will needs an invite. Let's get him in here. You have 29 laps around this Grand Prix. Let me just make sure the settings are good and nothing changed from the last time. Approximate. Yep. Because sometimes they change last second and I have to tell either Jamie, who was hosting, or I have to look at it myself and find out. So yeah, let me just check for invites. As for interviews, we should be able to get some more in here compared to usual. Just make sure we got everybody who plans to race in here as well. Where's JNT's name? There we go. Reload. There we go. Okay, so an AlphaTauri and both Aston Martins. Okay. I think we'll be able to ready up in just a moment. I'm just trying to contact Brute. Seeing as for him, he has a chance of being in the Aston Martin, and I want to check if what car Toneless could go in, just in case anything changes for Rowdy. Brute should be able to join mid-qualifying. But I want to check if Toneless can go McLaren. Because Rowdy mentioned he ran out of live. Brute will join mid-qualifying, yep, and we will be able to get Toneless and McLaren, I think, yep. Alright, let me get Toneless and McLaren and then we'll get going. Alright. Are all drivers in their car? Yes, okay, we're good. Alright. Oh, that's roster updates. There we go. Alright. As for reserves and full-time drivers and changes, well, we got Itshot taken out of the McLaren seat as he would be missing 3 races in a row as a full-time driver. That allows Lando Norris to go to McLaren for the final race and come back to full time for probably the third time this season. As for other changes, we have GSR Thrasher in the Red Bull today as a reserve. It was originally going to be Fire King, but Fire King cannot make it. Fire King, previously known as AVG Doughboy, he cannot make it, so Thrasher in the Red Bull today. That is the second or third time this season he's in Red Bull, but he gets another chance to prove why he deserves a full-time seat for next season as Lodjovic misses today. As for other seats, Toneless Death in the McLaren, that is about the third time this season that he's been in a race seat. So yeah, there you go. And as known, as known, Will Cromack as well to Alpine. That was done a couple weeks ago, but just to mention that again, because some people who might have tuned in earlier in the season thinking, hey, why is Will not in Mercedes or even Red Bull? That is exactly why. Now we got 20 drivers, well, 20 expected drivers, but 17 in the lobby, 18 when Spurt joins. He should be joining my qualifying. We'll let you know on an invite to him. And a potential spot to maybe see Polo Guide in the Aston Martin. We'll see what goes on. I'll see if we can get an AlphaTauri in here or not. I doubt it, but it's just something to bring up. I thought it'd be interesting. So yeah. We'll see if we can get any interviews during the session as well. We should be able to get one or two, but here we go. 17 drivers in a qualifying, and it probably will be a completely bone dry race. No surprise there. However, one of the big things to talk about this weekend for the people watching this race is strategy. You saw the two stops being used in the real life F1 race. Although the game says the two stop is slower, it is probably a lot more better around here, depending on the pace you have. If you are in a slower car, then maybe what you should be in, and you're a reserve, like Brew Gorgon, for example. He's in an Aston Martin. That's quite much slower than the Haas. Not by a whole lot, but it's slower. He may want to go for a one-stop, because as for the two-stop, as the two-stop may be progressively faster, the one-stop, he has something to defend with, or at least try to defend with. Maybe for the two-stop, if he has enough pace in that Aston Martin, he realizes, hey, maybe I can, you know, maybe I can gain spots by the two-stop. Maybe if a safety car were to come and play, that could help me. And that is what a lot of drivers will be questioning, the two-stop being 5.5 seconds slower according to the AWS strategy stuff. I don't expect it to be that much slower, but it will be slower, not by much, though. This may be the first race we see the two-stop used more effectively than the other ones this season. As for the first car on track, we have GSR Riles in the Alpine. Riles throughout the season has been very up and down. I think that's fair to say. You know, he started out the season as a reserve, raced for McLaren a couple times, maybe once or twice, I think it was, and reserved a couple times for Alpine. Almost had a podium in Australia. If he got the penalty removed, he probably would have been on the podium. And as for Singapore, just needed a spot on coast leg late in the race when reserving for McLaren. But after Singapore, he decided, I'm going to switch to full-time. I can make the rest of the races. And from there onwards, GSR Riles started pretty slow in the Alpine. He was 4, 5, 6 tenths progressively off the pace each week. And then once you got to around Imola, around 11, maybe around 10, Riles started to progress and improve to the point where we saw much improvements toward his race pace, his qualifying pace. He was within a tenth or two, maybe at most 3 tenths back from the front of the field. And he has now become a contender for more podiums along the way this season. Has not got one this season, surprisingly, compared to the last season in which he had a championship run. But we'll have to see. GSRL is about to start a lap. Aaron Ocon about to start a lap. They're the only two on track as of right now. As for Aaron Ocon during the season broke his winless streak from the very first race. He took race win number 2 in league racing. Riles coming through turn 1, turn 2. Gonna have to let off. Aaron Ocon's already crashed up there already. He's out. So Riles clipping the left side curb, which you can do to gain some time down on the run to turn 5, 17.9 in the first sector. In this car, you can brake so much more later at turn 5. Riles didn't use too much of that, though. Clip the inside curb there, and applies DRS all the way down on the run to turn 6 here at the chicane. We've seen a couple of incidents in real life here, one today and one last year in this race. Now Riles, very conservative with the chicane, keeps it in second though, up the gears, now he goes. Third, fourth, fifth, and now up to 6th. And hugging this inside line, you can't hug it too much, you can't go to the far inside, all the way to that white line, or else you will lose a couple hundredths on the run down to sector 3. It's a 54-0 for Riles. Now, clipping this inside part, not the inside curb, you could spin on that, but you got to defend that inside line if you're in the race. Now into 11 and 12 here, and this big bump over here, which you may have to let off in if you're in a battle. Now, the driver part of this track. The part where the driving skill comes very much alive and it's not up to the car. These final 4 corners could determine a lot with driver skill. Now, your final corner for GSR Riles runs just a bit wide. Now, third gear, up the gears he goes, up to the line. It's going to be a 25.6 to set the benchmark time. GSR Riles only want to complete a lap, and next one to start a lap will be Pluto, your champion from this season. We will wonder what happened to Aaron Ocon. We might get an interview with him at some point, but not this moment. As for Pluto, coming through turn 3, 4, and he spins around! And luckily keeps it out of the wall, unlike Aaron Ocon wasn't able to do. But that Haas, through that corner, is going to be hard to manage. You see an Alpine go by. There's a yellow flag in Sector 1 in the pit lane. That's Calm, who's broken his front wing on pit entrance. So he has had some sort of issue on traction out of the pit lane, causing that front wing to be broken. And that's going to require him to come back to the pits. I can't tell if that's a glitch. That looks like a glitch for some reason. All right, then. Well, next across the line, it will be Jab. He will start a lap as well. Second man in the championship. You know, the stat that Jab broke last week was there being a different vice champion each season in the league. You had season 1 with Sam Steed, coming second to Pluto. You had Riles last season coming second to... Davis, and you have Jab this season coming second to Pluto. So a very interesting stat that Jab now holds. Red Bull's going to cross the line. That'll be GSR Thrasher starting a lap. But Jab is now on the run to turn number 6. The Williams in this track, I would say when it comes to straight line speed, I know they've been very caring on how much, I think that's a fair word to use, caring on how much straight line speed they lose. They lose, I think, at a minimum 600ths. And now we got Will Cromack out of this session. He set a lap time, but he's crashed all the way up at turn 3. And Jab now 4th gear through here. And on the curbs. These curbs you can usually lose it on 5th, he's up to. And now 6th and possibly 7th. Lets off a bit there. Some corners. These cars can take full throttle. That one does not look like one for the Williams. However, crosses the line now, 25-1. So he will also set the benchmark. And not a lot of people coming out on track in this qualifying session as of right now. You still have a ton of people in the pit lane. Let me check main chat and see if see why that is. And I doubt there's actually a hurricane, but there you go. Well, Cromack talks about Aaron Ocon joining the club with him. Let's get, how about we get Will Cromack in here? We got Brute Gorgon, who joined in the Aston Martin. I almost said AlphaTauri, but Aston Martin. He will, speaking of penalties to be served, you know, I did not realize Brute was here for a moment, but he is 25 seconds of penalties to be served. That's from the Monza race. So, you know, it's not to say that he can't score points, but it is to say that the chance of scoring points is probably very slim. Thrasher set in a lap, and now Pluto sets in a lap that will go 14 thousandths faster than Jeb. Let's go on board with somebody who's on a lap right now, considering we're going to interview Will Cromack. We'll get Cromack in here and talk to him about what happened, but I want to talk to him about the Alpine because I've practiced that car quite a bit, and I want to see if he's having anything similar to what I'm having with that car. And it's nothing bad with that car, but it is turn 2 and 3 if there's any place that I would call bad, because you have to let off almost every time. You don't want to clip those curbs, and that also depends on what car you are also in, because if you're in a car that cannot take curbs very easily, you will spin through there. And that is very much noticed throughout the weekend, with what a lot of drivers have been saying. We're on board with QBR20 Joe, though, who goes a bit wide right there. And yeah, we're going to have either Will or Aaron Ocon. Will said he spun out, possibly because he lost vibration in the corner. As for QBR20 Joe, a little slide at the penultimate corner. Comes across the line now, and he will be third place on the board. 3/10 off the top. All right. And now we have more drivers, by the way, coming on track at this point in the session. Brew Gorgon's also out there. We'll go on board with him in a little while, but not as of right now. We're going to watch Matty Momo, though, who currently yet to set a lap and was scheduled to miss this race, and now he's made it today. So we're playing Matty Momo, 17.8 in the first sector. A lot of the first sector times we're going to be seeing, though, from a lot of the drivers will be a 17.7, maybe a 17.6 if they're really pushing it, and even up to a 17.5. Full set invites are not working for some reason. I don't know why that is. That's weird. Any party that's on invite only, he needs an invite to. So I put it unjoinable for a second. And I will have him join. And we'll talk to him while we go on board Matty Momo's lap. We did a little hot lap with Riles. And yeah, there you go. All right, Will has joined us. Welcome along, Will. Well, you know, I think the last time I talked to you was Saudi Arabia, and that's Matty Momo around there at turn number 9. You know, I think it was Saudi Arabia I talked to you last. It might have been. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Regardless, welcome back.
Oh, not under good circumstances.
I know, I could tell. Chungus goes fastest, by the way, in this session. Let's go on board with somebody who's on a lap. Race Cracker returns as well, but yeah, a lap that was 9/10 off Chungus's. It would be slowest out of everybody so far. I don't think it was too bad of a lap. You probably could have improved, but what happened to cause you out of the session right now?
Well, I lost it through second corner on the actual lap I was doing. So then I had to slam on brakes, then not lose it into the corner that I eventually binned it in. And then on my in lap, I was doing what I usually do and just testing track out and going the normal speed, going through the same corner. I then lost vibration in my controller, and then I lost it completely after making fun of Aaron for doing the exact same thing. So, yeah, I'm going to bury my head under the sand and cry about that one.
Yeah. Well, you know, I will say you have not seen the podium since the first round. Who's to say that it can't be done in the last round, too? You beat a podium sitter in the first round and the last round. Do you think it's possible to come from that low on the grid and do it?
Yeah, I think it's possible. I think anything can really happen at Abu Dhabi. I think that corner is going to catch a few people out in actual race, so it wouldn't surprise me if there's a bit of chaos. But who's going to be pole? I do not have a clue, but
yeah,
it's just about that first lap, really.
Sure.
If it goes all smooth, I've got no chance of getting through, but there's always a possibility, I guess. Maybe starting on hard, just trying to go long distance.
I've heard a lot of people this weekend talk about the chance of a one-stop, a two-stop. What do you think the race is going to be like, a one-stop or a two-stop? What do you see?
It's probably going to be a one-stop. I can't see it really being a two-stop unless there's a safety car. QBR Joe's just lost it into pit entry, by the way. He's just coming in now. So it all depends. I think the safety car is going to play a massive part in it, because it's going to be that classic. Jabba, is he just retired or has he lost it?
Yeah, he's in the pit lane. Com lost it though, but anyway, continue with what you're saying.
Yeah, so
it one stop, two stop.
Depends on safety cars, to be honest, because how close it is at some point on the track, you can just crash at any point. So,
right.
It's probably going to be a one stop for a lot of drivers who are in it back, but then you're probably looking at people that are starting at front, probably a one stop trying unless there's a safety car.
Right. And lastly, to you, before I let you go, how has the car felt?
Dreadful. Well, not dreadful, actually. It's a lot better than the Mercedes. A lot.
Okay, so that's at least an improvement.
Oh, the Mercedes, it was like driving a truck with 3 wheels. It were dreadful. And then Alpine, it's a lot better. Straight line speeds are actually there, which is decent.
Right.
But the corners, the rear end likes to step out a bit, which, as we just saw.
Joseph, yeah, I saw him. I don't know if you were on board with Riles, but yeah, I was on board with Joseph there. His rear end stepped out as well. So, yeah, it's something we'll have to focus on. Good luck in the race. It's gonna have to be a stretch from back there. We'll maybe check back with you, hopefully at the end if you get a podium. It'd be nice to see.
Thanks, Ryan.
Enjoy. Yeah, no problem. Enjoy.
Cheers. Bye.
We'll give Aaron Ocon a go, I think. We'll ask him about what happened too, because I think he lost it at the same corner as Will did, I'm pretty sure. So I've just given him an invite, and we'll talk to him quickly, and then we'll get in the laps, because Toneless Death, by the way, has not got a lap in yet, and it'll be up to him, Calm, Lando, all to get laps in to be in to the next round of qualifying in Q2. We know Will be out. If Florian can beat him, we know Toneless is just spun, and we know that there's a chance for others to get laps in. Aaron Ocon, where is he? I gave him one invite, and I'll give him another. There he is. Welcome along, Aaron. Aaron, you there?
Hello. Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, hello there. Hello, yeah, yes I can. Welcome along. What happened there, to cause the crash? You were on your lap, I'm pretty sure, too, or was it the in lap? I think it was the lap itself.
Yeah, it was a lap.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, what happened there? And do you think that corner is going to be one where people will have to watch out for in the race?
What was the question, sorry?
What happened there, and do you think that'll be a corner people will have to watch out for in the race?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's a tricky corner, as you saw with Will in qualifying as well when he spun. Yeah, so basically I just took the corner, took some curb on the corner, and it just spun me into the wall. But yeah, like I've had problems with that corner already, like in practice and in other leagues, so I knew that was a corner to watch out for. But yeah, it just happened out of nowhere. I just went normally and just lost it.
Yeah. I'll keep you here to the end of Q1, of course, because I may have to cut in at one point of you talking. But one stop, two stop. What do you think everyone else is going? What are you going for the race? And then we'll cut back to qualifying.
One stop. Yeah, one stop is what I'm gonna go for. Like if there's a safety car, I'll pit again for like a two stop. But yeah, one stop is the main strategy for the race.
All right. Well, we'll get back to qualifying, and I'll ask you a couple questions right after Sam Steed retires. He though is safe. 53.9 though for Com at the middle sector in this. Sector 3, he's going to have to gain some time to get himself up a bit more to make sure he is safe, and he would be ahead of his teammate as well. The top 11 drivers all think they're safe, and they all think they're through, and they should be. Considering you have Will who's crashed, Aaron who's crashed, and now Com going to cross the line as well. Florian's going to have to improve if he wants to be in, or he's going to have others below him via a lesser time. And you have Com crossing the line. He will go 6th fastest. He's going to be in to Q2. Next up is someone else. I believe that's Toneless going to complete a lap next. But you have Lando Norris about to start a lap. Let's go on board with Lando because he'll be the last one likely to cross the start-finish line and complete a lap. Lando currently has not set a lap throughout this whole session. He has to set a lap now, and it has to be a good one to get him through to Q2 and possibly through to even Q3. What a slide for Lando! But yeah, he has to get himself through. He has to set this lap. He has to do good with this lap. He has to push it now to the max. And Lando through Sector 1, that is going to be an 18.3. So he's going to have to find 6/10 somewhere to get him through. Through Gorga, or sorry, that was Toneless Death setting a time. That'll be 9th fastest. Toneless splits Joe and Maddie. He will be into the top 10. He is through. Next is up to Florian and Brute. Now you have Lando Gonna have to complete this lap. Is he going to get through? Is he gonna get knocked out? That slide could have been a determination for that. Next across the line is Brute and Florian. Brute and Florian coming toe-to-toe across the line. Brute will cross the line. Brute's out of qualifying, and Florian should make it. As for Lando, here comes Lando at the sector split 54-2, so he improved a little bit compared to what he was doing. However, this time has to be found in sector 3. Now Lando clipping into the curb, coming through. What can Lando do? Lando should be safe considering the fact that Florian's had a Will's time there. Lando goes wide, but he has to keep this ballot for sure in order to get through. Now Florian fully's lagged out, but here comes Lando across the final corner, into the final corner, now out of the final corner. Lando comes to the start-finish line, and he will be safe. And that does knock out Florian Foley. So Florian Foley is out, and that knocks Brute out as well. What a close qualifying for Lando to be in. And the season started with a Williams on top in Q1, and it also ends in Q1 for the final time this season with a Williams also on top once again. This time it's Chungus. Fair play to them. Yeah, as for my questions though, Aaron, let's get back to you. You know, we mentioned the one-stop, two-stop. Quickly, give just a 15-second debrief. How does the car feel?
The car feels a bit unstable, but I'm working around it. Working around what I need to do.
That's a good thing, at least. All right, Aaron, how about you tell us about the 4 drivers, well, technically 3, knocked out of qualifying for Abu Dhabi? Q1.
Yeah, so obviously Will crashed in qualifying, which is a surprise to see him out. Florian as well. I'm surprised to see him out as well, considering like he's in the Mercedes, and Brute as well, considering he hasn't raced in a few weeks. Like, I thought it would be hard for him to get out of Q1.
And you have yourself there as well.
Yeah.
Which, not to mention, I don't think that should go unmentioned either. But
no.
As for the race, just one more question for you. As for the race. What is the expectation now from being this far back on the grid? Where do you expect to be by the end of this? And as for the championship standings go for you, I know you're in some sort of battle. Let me just check, just to be 100%. Yeah, you're in a battle for top 10 in the standings.
Yep.
4 points away from it. Do you think that is also possible as well with this comeback from the back of the grid?
Well, yeah, considering TJ isn't racing, and like Will is back where I am in the grid, it's kind of good in a way because there's less chance of them getting bigger points to overhaul me in the championship. But then again, you need to watch out for like Sam and Lando because they're only a couple of points behind as well, and if they have good races, they could leapfrog me to the championship. But yeah, I think mainly the key for me in this is just to stay out of trouble and just do the best I can.
All right, and I don't know if you saw my Discord message, but I'll keep you here for Q2. Why not? I think this is the critical part of the session for a lot of drivers to really find out, you know, who are they going to be battling for pole? Who is going to be the driver that they have to watch out for? Who's going to be the one that's going to be on their nerve? And you know what? It's also a matter of being able to prepare yourself for Q3, even if you're going to make it to Q3. So that'll be a lot of the tasks that the drivers have to look out for in this qualifying session. And of course, you have to get through first as well to Q3.
Were you asking me a question?
No, I wasn't. I was just mentioning about the task for drivers to get through to Q3, and that you know, you this is where you prepare yourself for Q3. This is where you find out, you know, who am I going to be contending with for pole, and can I not nail the lap down into Q3? What am I missing? You know, so this is their time to figure that out. All right, so we have Sam Steed about to start a lap here and trying to get himself into Q3 the second consecutive time. And, you know, he hasn't had a pole since Imola. You go all the way back 20-something rounds to season 1 actually. So Sam Steed's trying to get himself back on pole position, but here we go. Turn 1, a little bit tricky. Turn 2, a little more trickier for the drivers. Almost losing the rear right there, clipping the inside curb. You can even lose the rear even more by clipping the inside curb, but hugging the left side. And now, gonna break at the 50-meter board here into turn number 5. And now, heading toward the inside curb, keeping it in fourth. Up the gears he will go, fastest sector 1. I couldn't tell what time that was by Sam, but now DRS applied down the long back straight.
It was a 17.8.
Okay, so that's not far off what we've been seeing. That's around average. Now you got braking for the chicane, a little around the 100-meter board. And you're in third gear, going up fourth. When's he going to go up to fifth? Right about now. Waiting a little bit to go up fifth, in fact. Now sixth. This inside part. Not going to the white line. That's to be expected. Now, at the sector split, it'll be a 54.3. So, losing a lot of time in the straights, that Alfa Romeo. Maybe not a lot, but at least a lot compared to the cars up in front. As for Sam, he's going to have to nail sector 3. And as for someone who has practiced with Sam, this has been a strong point, Sector 1 and Sector 3, so Sam, this lap could really define him getting into Q3 or not. Obviously, it's the first one, though, so he may have to go out again. A little slide there at the penultimate corner. Now final corner, and off the final corner he comes. It'll be a 26.3, setting the benchmark time. Also crossing the line was GSR Riles. Also crossing the line is Chungus Goat as well. 25.2. And you know what? The real-life pole time for the drivers was a 23.8 by Max Verstappen. The fastest time in time trial I've seen from the drivers in their cars that they're scheduled to race for is a 23.9, and that's Joseph F1 around. And luckily, not out of this session. Lando Norris, who got through by the skin of his teeth, sets in a time that is third. Next up is Rice Cracker starting the lap. Let's go on board with him. And now he comes through turn 2, up to turn 3, and now turn 4 on the run to turn 5. Not as far to the left as we've seen some people. Pulling to the left side there was, I believe, Lando Norris. Pluto sets on a time slower than Riles. Now Rice, purple through sector 1 and coming out of there. Aaron, what was the sector time?
I wasn't on board with them. I was on board with Trasher.
Oh. Well, you got Jab, a 10th off Riles time now, but ahead of Chungus right now in this qualifying session. Also Thrasher setting on a time, 6/10 off. Matty Momo setting on a time farther off his teammate. Next, Rice Cracker through the chicane. And now a little bit farther up the track than we've seen some people at this section in the run to turn 9. At the sector split, 53.3, so this is a fast time from what we've been seeing in that sector split. Now, turn 9 a little wide on exit, but he's on the run. The bumpy section of turn 11 and 12. Third gear through here. Fully on the throttle. Can't clip the throttle too much right there or you'll spin, but he slides. And now the penultimate corner, which is flat out for most cars. Not completely flat out for his. That'll be a tough corner to watch. And third gear at the final corner. And coming across the line, Rice Cracker, 24.7. That's 5/10 in front of the rest of the field. We also have Lando Norris coming into the pits. Actually, no, he's going to go out for another lap, I think. He saved enough battery, saved enough fuel, and he'll be able to go out again. Let's watch Lando Norris. This is impressive. I believe that was QBR20 Joe maybe setting at a time. Might have been him. Couldn't tell if it was Rasher there, but one of those two setting at a time. Lando Norris, 18.0 in the first sector that time, a 10th off his personal best. Still got cars crossing the line. Still got people yet to set laps, including Joseph, Toneless, Blue Goggy, and Calm. Now Lando in the chicane. A little late braking compared to most cars we've seen. He could do that because he doesn't have a lot of straight line speed in this car. Unless he added more, well, I wouldn't say added more wing, but lower the wing. It's maybe like a 1620 setup, something like that, or inverted wing, it's 2016. He'd be able to find that straight line speed, but he hasn't found much this time compared to the last time. 4/10 down right now he is. And he spins around and does a basic 360 right there to get it back going. We've got Toneless Death either starting or completing a lap. I believe he's now starting one. And he's coming through turn 1 now. Toneless, the teammate of Lando Norris today. Ratty TJ Boy, he ran out of Xbox Live Gold and was not able to see you in the lobby today. Toneless Death, 17-9 through the first sector. A little bit better than what Lando did on that most recent run. If Toneless completes this lap, he should be in the middle of Lando and Thrasher, assuming it's that good throughout the rest of the lap. And you just have to wonder, where can you find that true line speed compared to most other cars if you're in a McLaren, a Mercedes, even an Alfa Romeo. Possibly an Aston, I would say. Now, Toneless, DRS applied. How about Goggy? Splitting Rice Cracker and Riles. 4/10 down there, though. And Toneless Death, 54-2 there at the middle sector. This would definitely set him above Lando this time. But by how much will definitely be the question. 24-7 is the time we're seeing at the very top of the board. Can we get into the 24.5s? Can we get into a low 24? We've seen a lot of low 24s in time trial. And even the one-shots, we've seen some 24.5s, 24.4s. Now Toneless from an ultimate corner. Jumps over the curb. Locks up just a little bit. Now, fourth gear, up the gear, at the final corner. Here it comes across the line. He will be safe for now, though. Joseph F1 crossing the line. He's also going to start a lap. He spun in his previous lap. Now this lap, here he comes. Turn 1, loses the rear a little bit. Now turn 2, up the hill he goes. Keeps it out of the wall right there at turn 2. Now he can do the same at 3 and 4 and be comfortable with that. Heading into 5, where's Joseph going to do? A 17.6, so this is a really good Sector 1 from the AlphaTauri driver. The driver who's in contention after today for the awards for Rookie of the Season. He's put on a very stellar job this season, making Q3 about 80% of the time, if not more. He's done a really good job as the rookie this season in that AlphaTauri. Won a race as well in France. That should not go unnoticed. Now comes to the chicane, 4th gear, up to 5th. DRS applied. That ERS all the way down below halfway here. And now as he comes to the sector split, he's going to be at a 53.3. So Milo has the chance to set himself up in the top 5 dependent on what this final sector's like. Now over the bump here. Locks up just a little bit, but was able to roll the car through the center of the corner, going through 4th gear there. 5th, not able to slide like we've seen other drivers do, and was very comfortable through there. This could be a lap that could be splitting Rice Cracker and Blue Goggy, depending on how this final corner. A little slide, but across the line, Joseph goes fastest. 24.5, so we are into the 24.5s, and he will go fastest. That was a beautiful lap. Next up is Sam Steed, by the way, who's currently on track to try to get himself out of the bottom 4. He is improving in that first sector, but he's got to improve more if he wants to see the light of Q3. Rasher would see Q3 for the first time this season, I believe. He's also trying to contend for a full-time race seat next season. But Sam Steed, it would be a chance at pole position. His last pole position, you go all the way back to Imola. And it's crazy enough that he holds the record for most pole positions, but he hasn't seen one since round 11 back in season 1. And that was his previous front row. Well, not previous front row, but previous win, if you want to go all the way back. Chungus, Jab improved, and Sam is improving through this sector, but he's got to complete the lap and still find time through sector 3. Now the inside curb, 4th gear through there. We see 5th. Rice Cracker thinks he's safe. He surely could be. Sam Steed now. 3rd to last corner. Penultimate corner. Nearly full throttle through there. He is pushing the limits in this Alfa Romeo. Can this Alfa Romeo get both Alfa Romeos through to Q3? Yes, they can. He's just right behind his teammate. And he should be safe for just now. However, we will see more drivers come out of the garage. And we will see them go for laps. Pluto is one of them. He's in the danger zone. 8th place right now for Pluto. Aaron, who's looking not so good in this session right now to be eliminated, and who should not be worrying inside that top 8?
Yeah, I think the top 6 definitely should be safe going into Q3. But I think the people you need to look out for is definitely Pluto down. Because I think Riles might have just done enough to get through, but might still need to go out just as a precaution.
And Yeah, sorry to cut in. I was going to say, who's to say that if Pluto does not get this lap good, that he's going to at least have to make sure he has enough fuel to go out for another run just in case.
Oh,
and here he goes
he's gone
wide.
off.
I told you right there. That is exactly what I was talking about. Going wide and he's down. He's going to have to recharge and reset for another lap. That is exactly what I mean. At Austria, he was 10th fastest. And
Yeah, he's a bonus.
yeah, he has aborted. He was 10th fastest. He invalidated his last lap. And on that first lap, he ran a used set and was very high on the fuel. And that used set was nearly 20% on the tires. And he was slowest out of anybody. That could be the difference. And especially with people on laps right now and trying to improve. Joseph F1 thinks he's safe. The top two all retiring. Thrasher now on a lap. Let's go on board with him. 10th place right now.
Thrasher's just down in the first sector on his previous lap.
So he's going to have to bank on this Red Bull straight line speed doing him in right now and helping him a lot through the second sector and even through the final sector. That car's got a lot of downforce. It evens itself out, and that is exactly why it is one of the fastest cars and one of the cars that people love to be in. It's not the fastest. It is the second fastest, and they've got their self in with both cars. Him and Joe in this session. And Thrasher, is he improving by the second sector? He is improving, but he has to improve more to make sure he's fully safe. I think we've got an Alpine at the final corner. That's Riles starting a lap. Jab thinks he's safe as well. Here's Thrasher, though, third gear through that corner, clipping the inside curb, really far to the inside right there. Third gear through there as well. Up the gears he's going to go. Can he go full throttle through here? No. Yes, he does. That was really surprising. Calm also sets a lap that gets him safe. How about Thrasher, though? Yes, he's safe for now, and he will knock Pluto right onto the elimination zone, right on the cutoff.
Yeah, Pluto's
Thrasher.
Pluto's down 2/10 in the first sector.
So he's going to have to bank on the rest of the lap being an improvement for your champion of the season. Maddie's still yet to set improvements. Lando as well. Toneless and Joe. Lando on an outlap as well. Lando's got to get back to the line pretty soon here. He's going to get back to the line soon enough. But him being 2/10 down in that first sector, he has to find time through Sector 2 and even Sector 3. He's running all the way to the inside here, trying to find all the time he can to gain into Sector 3. What's this sector split looking like? He's improving, but not by much. And now Riles has got knocked out because Maddie is improved. Maddie's going up to 6th. This is going to be right down to the wire with improvements. Sam Steed retiring could be the difference in him being safe and him not being safe. Now Pluto coming through the final sections of the track. Third gear, fourth gear, going a bit wide. And now Riles improves to 3rd, knocking Joe out. And Thrasher's on the bubble now. But what can Pluto do? Entering the final corner and out of the final corner. Can Pluto go through? Pluto can't go through. Pluto's going to be out of qualifying. For the first time this season, he will not make Q3 in a race that he started. Pluto is out. And on pure pace as well.
Yeah, Joe's out
Khan
as well.
is retired. Joe's invalidated. Now it's up to Lando Norris to possibly knock Sam out. Thrasher's got the checkered flag. He's going to be out as well. Lando, it's all up to you. 3/10 up. And that would set him still 14th, but he's going to have to improve in this last sector. Where can he find the time? Turn 9, turn 10, and now 11 and 12. Lando's made Q3 on a couple of appearances this season. However, this will be the final dance of the season for him. Oh, he goes wide. Lando Norris, penultimate corner. Full throttle and fully to the extent he can be to get through. Can Lando knock Thrasher out and Sam out? Lando crosses the line. He does knock Sam out. Sam will not be through, and both McLarens are going to be through. Lando to Q3 once again. And crucially, Pluto is out.
Yeah, that's a big surprise to see Pluto out in qualifying.
It is very big, and it's not what anybody expected. Joe is
No.
out too. Joe has been having the pace, which has been unreal. The last what, 6-7 races, and he's out of qualifying. Pluto out. Sam out. Sam was just barely out too. Sam just similar to France. 12 thousandths this time to his teammate.
Yeah, Sam was a driver I thought would be safe with his lap. So that looked, because he had a very big margin over the drop zone at the time.
And now we're on to Q3. You know what? I think you've been doing a good job, Aaron. I'll keep you here in Q3. Why not? And we'll talk to one of the drivers out. don't know if it's worth going Pluto. We'll see middle of the session, but there you go. Joseph F1 leading a qualifying session for AlphaTauri. And could we see 3 different teams going for pole? Pluto has now had his worst qualifying of the season. And Joseph, the rookie, who's made Q3 a ton, will make Q3 again as a rookie. He's been doing a good job, this rookie, this season. Same with Matty Mimo too. Can't go unnoticed. He barely slipped through as well as his brother. And Toneless the reserve too. How about him, Riles? Do not count out Riles. I always have to say that. His fan club always mentions to me all the time how you just can't count him out to the end, and that's very true. He could be on for pole here. And how about Rice Cracker, Calm, even both Williams getting through? Are they the only team to get through? Possibly. They could very well be. They could very well be. And we'll have to get Florian Foley back in. If you can send him an invite to the game, that'd be great.
Okay.
Make sure it's invite to the game, not to the party. I know we mess up on that sometimes.
Okay.
And Lando is so happy about how great this car feels. You can tell because look at where Toneless is too.
Joseph's left as well.
Yeah, I'll get Joseph. I'll get him. As for cars that are into Q3, I thought it was both Williams, but it's both Williams and both McLarens. So out of the drivers who are through to Q3, let's talk about them. Joseph, this season, they're going to call me a simp over it, but, I have to give credit where credit's due, and there's no lie in that. Joseph has done phenomenal this season in that AlphaTauri. A little bit of a slow start, but he was able to, at least for the races, it was a slow start after Saudi Arabia. But as for his qualifying, he has been through on 10 times now, and yet to get a pole. So, could see a new pole sitter today. Jab has not seen the pole since Australia, all the way back at round number 1 of the season, his first pole of the season, and he has been through on consecutive streaks since. Oh, well, Joseph, got an invite to the party. Oh, you gave him an. Oh, what? I thought I gave an invite to the game.
I did. I must have invited him to the party as well. But...
Okay, I see.
I'm sorry.
Well, that's weird. That is weird. No worries. No, as for Jab, he's now been through on 13 consecutive occasions with this, and he's now got the most active streak for sure. Matty Mamu, think through in every start now. Impressive by him. Every start he's done. Rice Cracker, he's been through on 4 occasions, and he was last through at Azerbaijan. Toneless Death, the reserve driver, he's only been through once back at Bahrain, and that was in the McLaren as well. Blue Goggy also through, by the way, to qualifying. He's been on a good run of out qualifying his teammates. He does it again, and he's through for the 11th time. Calm is through as well. Calm, a pole position this season back at Britain. 7 Q3 appearances this time. GSR Riles through, and Riles was able to do it for the 5th time this season. Didn't make Q3 till Imola, but he has been impressive since. Chungus as well. We call him the qualifying merchant. He has not had a pole with that qualifying merchant with a 17.5 in the first sector, but 10 consecutive Q3 appearances with number 10 this season. Can he possibly see pole position for the first time? You have a slipstream from Jab already on that outlap. Look at Jab getting in the way of Chungus and giving him the toe that he may need to get pole position. He's had 4 front rows this season, Chungus has. And lastly, Lando Norris, who's been through to qualifying on 2 occasions, Saudi Arabia and Hungary this season. Lando Norris has not seen a pole position. I want to say his best qualifying is 6th, but he's looking to improve on that today with a very comfortable car behind him. 53.5 through the 2nd sector through Chungus. Now, what can he set for the rest of this lap as he comes through turn 9, a little wide and going to the curb there, referring to that to try to gain time and referring to the inside line here, all the way to turn 12, a little wiggle there by Chungus. And now, 4th gear through here, 5th gear, trying to push it all he can and find some time. Still 5th gear through there and trying to push it all the way to the track limits to barely not getting validated. Now full throttle through there and going all the way to the curb, nearly hopping over it. And now Chungus comes off the final corner, coming across the line. We're into the 24.6s for Q3. He crosses the line. He will set pole and benchmark for now.
Yeah, I expect Jab to give Chungus to give Jab a toe now down the back straight.
That would be expected for sure.
Yeah.
As for drivers out of qualifying, we'll get an interview in soon enough. Here's Jaboli MSU. Now, coming to the sector split. Chungus had a 17.5, Jab has a 17.7, so Jab losing a bit of time in that first sector compared to Chungus. However, here comes the toe again, and Chungus timed that really poorly, but look at this. Jab at least gets something here, and now Chungus has to get out of the way earlier than he expected and intended to get out of the way for Jab, but Jab at least got something there. These Williams boys are trying to find something with the straight line speed they have. That Williams car, by the way, just thought I mentioned, it at least loses a tenth on each straightaway at minimum. So that will be important to note when it comes to the DRS trains in the race we see. However, Jab coming to the sector split. What's this going to be? It's going to be a 53.4. So, a little bit of an improvement compared to Chungus. That slipstream, though, not as powerful as the one Jab gave, but going wide.
Yeah, Lando spun on the last corner of his lap.
So that could be costful. So it could have been a good time. Fourth gear through here, Jab. A little bit of a slide, but that helped him turn into the corner better. Here he comes up the gears and through to the penultimate corner. Nearly full throttle. Chungus kept it full throttle. Jab couldn't. Now Jab to the final corner. Really beautifully executed. Comes across the line. It's a 24.4. Jab's on the pole for right now. And he's ahead of his teammate, putting him only up to the front row as a best. Calm and validated, by the way. We got an Alfa Romeo Gaggi starting a lap now.
Yeah, Cracker.
Here's Blue Gaggi. What can he do?
Rice Cracker is purple in Sector 1 on this lap.
There you go. So that's important to note. Here's Alpine crossing the line. That's GSR Riles. Cannot go pole. Next to cross the line behind that is the driver coming into the pits. Here's Gaggi now through Sector 1. What's this improvement looking like compared to the others? We've seen a 17.5. He's on the curbs. He's trying to push the limits. He's going to the inside line there, all the way to the blue thing. That could improve you sometime. 17.7, so similar to what Jab could do. However, Sector 2, this is where the time will be lost compared to every other driver who has tons of straight line speed. Next across the line was the Haas. That is Matty Mumu starting a lap. And the McLaren of Toneless, only fourth best for him. Seen a lot of underdogs and a lot of drivers who we've not seen in Q3 a ton of times this season into Q3 of this race to have their chance at pole position, to have a chance at their best starting spot of the season or best starting spot in the league. Here's Blue Gaggi now, coming through to the sector split. What's this going to be? We've seen 53.4. What's Gaggi going to do? A 53.5. So he is down just a little bit on this lap, but that time he's going to have to find is going to have to be found through Sector 3, and now Rice Cracker's going to go front row. Blue Gaggi coming through turn 11 and 12. That big bump. You can easily find time or lose time there depending on the line you take. Third gear through here. Now all the way to the curb. Can't lose it on the rear there. Pushing all the way to the limits. On the white line right there. And now here he comes at the penultimate corner. Full throttle. And now the final corner. Can Blue Gaggi take pole just like he did in Singapore? Or provisional pole for now? Gaggi goes to the line. Cannot do it. We have other drivers on laps. However... we'll go on board with Matty Mumu as we talk to Pluto. Go ahead.
Yeah, I expect Rice Cracker to improve because he made a mistake in the last corner. So the battle for pole is looking very good.
Yeah, most definitely. We'll get Pluto in here. We'll talk to him. But we have Matty Mumu crossing the line now. What's Matty Mumu going to do? Can Matty Mumu do anything? He's going to go fifth. Yeah, we'll talk to Pluto quickly. We'll get a chat within him. Or from him. As for him, first knockout in qualifying since I want to say Britain last season. Welcome along, Pluto.
Hi.
First I want to ask, is that not what you expected? Did you expect the field to get this close to where you were knocked out, or no?
I never really felt comfortable. The car feels terrible through Sector 1. You could probably tell how much I was struggling in my other laps if you watched them. So it's not that much of a shock, and it's not really that much of a problem either.
Yeah. Do you feel the race today will be a two-stop or one-stop for most drivers as Calm spins out at turn 3?
I don't know. To be honest, I haven't done any race sims or anything like that. I'm not that fussed. I presume it's just gonna be a one-stop because that's what everyone always does. Two-stop would be fun with a safety car. But yeah, it's probably just gonna be a one-stop.
And yeah, to correct myself, this is the first knockout since Bahrain at the end of last season. You know, this season for you, it's been a championship winning season. Even though you are out in qualifying in Q2, was this maybe the first time you were thinking to yourself, hey, I might actually be out here? Or was there other times in the season that you were thinking that you had a really good chance of being knocked out in Q2?
I don't remember anything in particular, but Yeah, it was about the time I was coming to start my last lap after messing up the first one. That I thought, yeah, I probably could get knocked out here because yeah, sector 1 was so slow. I was 2 tenths down on my current lap that was set on like 18% on softs, which was horrific. I don't know why it was so slow, but yeah, it's just what happens, isn't it? But I've got to go now because I really need a wee. So.
All right, go ahead.
Enjoy.
Yeah, you enjoy. Have a good race.
But
Now we got Chungus coming through here. The first couple of corners, he's really pushing. You can see how much he's using the gears to upshift. He's 15 thousandths down though on that time, so you could tell that Sector 1 was still an improvement, from the other drivers who were faster than him. So if he can continue to set times throughout the sectors, he can do well. Look at this planned slipstream from the Williams boys. This is even better than the first time it looks like. Here's Jab right in front of him. Jab giving him everything to try to get him a first pole for the season and in the league. 15 thousandths down, 17.5. Jab set a 17.6 or 7 through that first sector. And now through sector 2, is that what the difference is with that slipstream for Chungus to get him up there on the time? Chungus, is he improving? Yes, he is. Purple sector, a 10th up, 53.3. What could Chungus do when it comes to taking his first pole position? He's been on front row 4 previous times, as far as I can recount. Now he has to master this last sector to take pole position for the first time. You have to nail these set of corners. Chungus, however, 5 front row starts. You go as far back 4 this season. Can he take a 6 front row start or a first pole? Chungus crosses the line. It's just a front row start once again. 13 thousandths off his teammate. Jab now is starting a lap and gonna try to defend this pole position. It's a 24.4. Can we see improvements? Next across the line is a Mercedes. That's Calm. Calm, he's starting a lap though. Jab, is he improving from sector 1 though? Not as far pushed out as Chungus. However, it's improvement though. 75 thousandths. And Chungus, is he gonna give him a slipstream as well? Riles crosses the line. It's 5th. Chungus is giving him the toe. And it is way more effective than last time. For Jaboli MSU, the man second in the championship. 4th gear through there. Up the gears now. He'll go. DRS will be applied. And he's trying to hug this white line to find as much time as possible in this lap to defend that pole position. Jab, is he up? Yes, he is. He's up by a 10th. Can Jab take pole in the first round and last round of the season? We have McLaren starting the lap, by the way. So Jab will have to defend it even more with the strong pace of Lando and Toneless.
yeah, one thing I've noticed in the end of qualifying is Ricecracker hasn't come out of the pits for another lap.
So that could be the difference. We've seen Ricecracker fast in these sessions, but however, Jab comes to the penultimate corner, will come to cross the line. This has been a strong lap from the man, second in the championship. What can Jab do? We're into the low 24s, 24.3. Jab goes even faster. Next across the lines, a Mercedes, that's Calm. Can Calm take a second pole position of the season? Calm crosses the line, but Calm can only go 7th.
Yeah, Goggy spun on his lap as well.
So that could be big.
Right.
Goggy will only be a best of 4th. Joseph now coming to the final sections of the track. Joseph, he's been fast as well in that AlphaTauri. Can AlphaTauri take their first pole position of the season? Their last pole was Season 2 final round. Can Joseph come across the line to take pole? Joseph crosses the line. It's 2nd row. Next across the line will be both McLarens. Matty is down right now, by the way. We'll see him at the sector split. We want to watch this. Can Matty improve at the sector split? No, he's not improving. Riles is down. Next up is Toneless and Lando. Lando crosses the line now. Comes off the final corner. Can Lando go pole? Lando! 7th, but he's very close. Closer than before. Toneless crosses the line. Toneless, 9th for Toneless. It is close throughout this field, and Matty's made a mistake. So that means that Jaboli MSU sees pole in the first round and the last round of the season. Impressive. Impressive. Wow. I must say. Wow.
Yeah,
This field, look at how close this is. I mean, I
Yeah.
know Khan may have made a mistake in his lap, so that could maybe be the difference between the whole field, top 10 being very close. And look at that. Chungus, front row again. It's a Williams front row lockout, just like it was back at round 1. Chungus has got to be happy with that Williams teamwork, but he also has to feel for himself at the same time. Just being short once again of pole position. And for Lando Norris, I have to speak about him because his pace this season, I really don't think it's been there. I really don't. He's not been there a whole lot this season. Even in qualifying and even in pace. And today, he's within 3/10 of the field. So impressive by him. Riles as well. Only set 1 lap, I believe, maybe 2. But went out earlier than everyone else. 3/10 off Goggy as well. And the top 4 with Rice, Joseph, Chungus, and Jab. We'll let you go, Aaron. Enjoy the race. And hopefully we could see you after
Yeah, see it.
for maybe a podium. Enjoy. Oh, here we go. A little bit of cloud. A little bit of cloud. That's going to mean a lot. No, it's not. But, yeah. Everyone up anyway. Okay, so I've not heard of any rain, but start the race in, like, the evening time. Dusk, whatever you want to call it. And, you've now got a cloud over you. You know, and considering we saw Austria, where it was unexpected rain, that would be funny if, and even maybe France technically was unexpected rain. That'd be funny if it starts raining. But you know what, where Abu Dhabi is located in the world, you never see rain. So you know what, I doubt it. I really do. I really doubt it. But I just thought I'd bring it up because that would be really funny if Mark and Codemasters and EA just troll everybody by that. But I doubt it. I doubt it. As for Rice and Joseph, fair play to them. That's good qualifying by them. Joseph possibly, I think it might have been a best qualifying of the season. Chungus definitely had his best qualifying of the season. Tolnus making it through to Q3. Very, very good runs by some people, I must say. It has to not go unnoticed here. As for the tires, here you go. Here we go. So, you have the top 10 on medium tires. Sam Steed on softs. Sam Steed on softs. So, this could be a confirmed 2-stop for Sam. And I am not surprised. He needs to find something being out in Q2. The hards for Thrasher, the hards for Will, the hards for Aaron. And the rest of the people outside the top 10 are all in the mediums. Let's make sure everything's pulled up. Yes, it is. So, we'll go over the favorites. The ones to watch out for this race. Chat, you know, there's 9 people watching. Get your friends to watch. Get everyone else who is in the party for engineering to watch. Whatever, because we are going to have a cracking race today, and this will be a ton of fun. You know, NFL coming on in a little bit for those Americans out there. And you got the World Cup as well today. Why not tune into this action right before all that? Well, let's go over the favorites since we're in Sector 2, Sector 3 now. I'm going to go with Jeb. How can you not go with the vice champion, you know? He's probably going to be even more hungrier to go into next season and say, hey, I want to have a chance at this championship. I was the vice champion this season. I could be the world champion this season. So Jab is really trying to show everybody what he's got in him for next season. Very impressive, by the way, that he was able to pull that out the bag and still improve. Because if he didn't improve, he would have only been 13 thousandths in front. That's for the back of the grid. Brute needs to make sure he's caught up. He cannot be laying back in the information lab. I just thought I'd point that out if anybody is in his party. Will Chromac, the back of the grid. This Alpine is going to be very strong through Sector 2 and Sector 1. Sector 3 loses a bit of time. That's mainly more on the driver for people who drive this car. But for anybody this far back of the field who can recover, he's a possible selection for that. Joe as well, 14th in qualifying. This Red Bull is very strong around here. Joe behind his teammate. Can he put it to the max? He's already given 1 win this season for this team. He can possibly give another. Sam Steed's also on the 2-stop as well. That's definitely a confirmed 2-stop on the soft tires. This will be interesting. He'll be one to watch out for. And why not go with Lando Norris, who's been very good on pace in this McLaren so far. And he's going to look to continue it for this race. Here we go. Here come the lights. for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix for the final time this season. Here we go. Waiting for the lights. And it's lights out and away we go. Jab slides off the line just a little bit. We have Chungus though, trying to pull alongside already and go side by side into turn one. Chungus, oh, he clips the rear tire just a little bit. A little stack up through the back of the field. And we have a Haas being spun around. That's Matty Mumu. And then collected in that as well as QBR20 Joe. But now at the front of this field, we have Chungus and Joseph challenging for the lead already and trying to challenge for second position. But behind that, you have Riles, Rice Cracker, and Lando going side by side into turn 5. Rice Cracker down the inside. And Pluto already a 5-second for ignoring the yellow flags already from the Matty Mumu spin. But that's also put Toneless and Thrasher down the order. But side by side for second place, the AlphaTauri and the Williams. Side by side between Chungus and Joseph. Going to be side by side out of the chicane as well. Going to make contact between the two. And now the top 7 have kind of split themselves in a train with Brew Gorgon, 3-second time penalty. And down the order is Sam Steed as well as Joe right there and Brew Gorgon involved in a crash already. Rice Cracker though going to be side by side with Lando at turn 9. Can't make anything of that. However, that's going to be Lando getting ahead. And already at the front of this field following suit with this train. Well, at the end of the lap, look at positions gained, but Brew Gorgon has got that 3-second penalty for corner cutting. Lugagi is spun around, and Will Cromack is out of this race. And that has now brought out the virtual safety car. Something had happened to Gagi, and I believe Will is involved. Sam's got no front wing by the end of the lap. Will this get upgraded to a full? I don't believe so, but that has ruined Sam's strategy for a 2-stop here. And pitting for new front wing is Calm, Thrasher, even Toneless. Tons of damage done at the end of the first lap for drivers. We'll have to see what caused it, but as I was saying, for that train at the front of the field, everyone was in it. Everyone was in it inside that top 5. So that definitely played big dividend for who had a chance. But once Gagi spun, that kind of put Riles and Lando back on the back foot there. You can see the top 3 pulling away already from Chungus, Joseph, and Jab. And I believe it's Jab also running a Sebastian Vettel helmet. And that is it for Will. He's done from this race. And we got contact at the chicane between Gagi and Rice Cracker already. They're trading a bit of paint in their cars. However, back to the lead, we have Joseph and Jab at the front of this field, trying to go back and forth, trying to maybe play a bit of games to find out who will pit early, who can go farther. Surely on the mediums, you'll have to go a little bit past lap 10. If you're on the softs like Sam was, you know, you have to go probably about lap 5, lap 6. I mean, you can pull off the 2-stop and be fine, but, you know, that has now been completely compromised. You'll be slower if you pull off the 2-stop, but we'll see what drivers have in hand here. Even if they're doing it from the mediums, medium, soft. Riles, Lando, Pluto, that fastest lap at the front of this field. And now Aaron O'Connor and Florian Foley, that fastest lap from the VSC on lap 2, is trading between everybody. Now you give it to Rice Cracker here. Here's Joseph now, applying a bit of overtake. And we have yellow flags at the final sector. That's Calm around. He may have a bit of front wing or rear wing damage. But as for Will, he's out of this race. And that is not the way you would have wanted to end the season. 1 podium on the season, and the only one came at Red Bull. Here's Joseph now in the Suprema Jab. Is he going to have a run and pull alongside? He's going to have to lay back a little bit there, and he does just that. Also, fair play to Riles and Lando, though, too. You know, keeping the gap over Pluto and 2 seconds behind. They're choosing to try to catch up to the front of the field, this top 3, but also pull away from Pluto. They're not choosing to battle it out just yet in this race. You can see Lando preserving a bit of that battery to hold back. Yellow flags, I think. Nope, there's a battle. Aaron O'Connor, Florian Foley. Aaron O'Connor, look at this. Already gaining on Foley, and now going wide as a result of trying to overtake, and they're going to be side by side here. Can Foley keep it around the outside? Yes, he can. Fair play to Foley. Let's look at the positions gained now. Jesus. Yeah, let's look at that from the first lap. You have 1 place for Joseph, 1 down for Chungus, 2 for Riles, 2 for Lando, 7 for Pluto, 9 for Florian Foley, and 10 for Aaron O'Connor. Everybody else has lost positions, and now losing another position and losing time was Rice Cracker there at the 3rd to last corner. It was definitely from rather losing the rear on the curb, contact, something along those lines. And now GSR Riles is spun and it is out of the race from 4th place. And this brings out the safety car in lap number 4. Right, it's just about Joseph was going to overtake Jeb. And that is now both Alpines out of this race. It is an Alpine disaster class. And it looks like, I can guarantee you, they will finish the season bottom of the constructors. Not the way they wanted to end the season. And you had part of the Rouse fan club here in today's race in the chat. Unfortunate end for Rouse' race. Pitting already is Toneless. Pitting already is Joe. Brew Gorgon. And we could see more pitting. Well, you know what? Kind of put Pluto back into play with that 5-second penalty. It's put Aaron Ocon into play on the hards, being up on track position. We'll see. We'll see how much that pays for the driver. Well, unfortunate start to Riles' race. But he is now ended with a retirement. And do any of the top 5 pit, you have Jab pitting. And a lap down was Brew Gorgon. You know, I must say, not a lap down anymore. He will be able to get his lap back, I believe, here. So, you know what? Fair play. I don't know what happened to him to cause him to be a lap down, but, you know, he knows the rules now. You cannot interfere under blue flags, but Jab, Pluto, and Florian Foley. As for Jab, I love the German helmet. That has to be mentioned there. I love the German helmet, so, yeah. Brew Gorgon gets to pass the safety car and get his lap back here. And, he should be caught up by the end of the lap, I'd assume. It depends really when the safety car goes in. If he'll be able to get caught back up, but now puts Lando up here. Pluto gets to serve the 5-second. He gets passed from Foley because of that. And that changes the outcome for him when it comes to track position. Right around where he started, if you think about it. But yeah, now you look at the positions gained. You got Aaron Ocon with the pit stops, also gained a couple. You also gained one from Riles' spin as well, so there you have it. And we'll just have to see, you know, I refer back to, you know, the Season 1 days of this race, you know, an early safety car. It's kind of what happened back in Season 1. It was, I know it was on standard back at the time, but it was lap 10, the safety car. I want to say around that area, around the area of first pit stops, and you had one at the second pit stop as well, I want to say. So, you know, this is what will make a difference in the pit stops, especially if you have not pitted yet. You know, you look at Joseph, you look at Chungus, you look at Lando, who all have yet to pit on the mediums, and you have Aaron on the hards looking to extend. We'll have to see how it goes. But as for the hard runners who just pitted, such as Brute Gorgon, Pluto, Foley, and Jab, it may be a matter of can they get the rest of the race on that tire. It will be a stretch. Can they do it? I don't know, but as for those guys, they will at least have the track position if there's no safety car from here. And Aaron Ocon was right. That corner, turn 3, is going to catch people out, and it caught Riles out. Caught Will out in qualifying, and now it caught the other Alpine out in the race, resulting in a double Alpine retirement. I can't believe that. I can't believe that they're going to end the season bottom of the constructors. They started out with Simon and Alistair. Alistair took their first pole position of the season. You know, Riles had a chance to take a podium. Hasn't done so. Alpine are going to end off the season being the only team not to take a podium during the season. And, you know, yeah, let me look at that. Yeah, only team not to take a podium. Back last season, it was Mercedes and McLaren. And then you go all the way back to Season 1, where Alpine were also the only team yet to take a podium. And I want to believe that they were the end of the bottom of the constructors in Season 1 as well. Let me just fact check that quickly. No, Mercedes was, but Alpine was second to last. So, you know, another disappointing season for Alpine. And last season they were contending for the Constructors' Championship. So we'll see if Will and Riles can rebound that. Yeah, last season Alpine finished third. 24 points off of the championship lead. Obviously with a shorter season, less points, but still, has to be said. And as for, you know, you look at Mercedes, As for the last 2 seasons, they've ended off at the bottom of the constructor. This season, they could be a worst of 8th. So, you know, best season for them yet. And they have Florian and Com who could still do well. Florian, who's already pitted, Com, who's pitted at the beginning of the race, and maybe you're looking to go from a 2-stop from here now. A good chance to do a 2-stop if you're anybody. You know, it's all going to depend on the safety cars, and we should have the safety car out one more lap here. I'm going to watch the back of the safety car in case it's a late call. That it will be, but, you know, I've seen crazier things. So, yeah. And I know we mentioned about the warnings on pit entry before the race. Yeah, there's a glitch where people get warnings on pit entry. If you don't even touch the curb or you just barely touch the curb on the inside. It depends on really how you take the corner, or it's just by sheer luck with warnings on pit entrance. We mentioned to the drivers, your warnings on pit entry can be removed. As long as you kept 2 wheels within that white line. That's the rule for the drivers. It's always been like that. It's just needed more clarity a couple weeks ago after France that you can keep, you can get away with 2 wheels outside the white line, but do not cross it. So yeah, as long as you got 2 wheels within it, you're okay. Because of Jab pitting though, this has now put Joseph in the lead, and Joseph has Chungus challenging as well. Chungus for a first win, Lando for a first podium since USA round 2 of season 1. You have to go really far back for Lando's podiums. That was his only one. But today, with the pace of his car, could very well see him on it. I hope I don't jinx him, but that would be bad if I did. Yeah, as for Lando, go all the way back about 32, 31 races, and that's as far back as it's been for him to see the podium. And we will see the safety car in at the end of this lap. Yeah, 31 races for Lando from the podium. That's the longest streak out of anybody here who is currently racing in the league. So we'll have to watch out for it if that streak can be broken today. And then you go as far back as maybe GSR Thrasher. I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to find out. Anyway, here we go. Safety car in at the end of this lap. And Joseph backing up the pack around 50 miles per hour. Now in third gear, waiting on the right time to go and having to wait for the safety car to be in the pit lane. Can't go too early, can't go too late. Safety car should be into the pits now. Here's Joseph on the throttle, on the gas now. Here he goes. He's off and away. And Aaron Ocon also getting challenged by Matty Mumu on this restart as well. He's giving him some pressure from the rear, but Lando also lost time as well. He's gonna be getting challenged soon here as well. So Joseph leads onto lap 8 on this restart, and Brute already trading spots with QBR20 Joe. Brute, the only one to have a penalty in this race, 25 seconds into this race. And we have Goggy challenging already his brother, Matty Mumu, with Rice Cracker behind. No moves into turn 5 as we see from this far back in the field. We do have one from Sam Seed and Com, though. Com losing the rear. Toneless will take advantage. Here's Toneless, but in front of that, we got Matty Mumu and Aaron Ocon gonna go side by side, and Chunk is trying to warm up the tires, but Aaron Ocon pulls to the right side. Matty Mumu having to defend the left side. And Matty Mumu, oh, he gets in a little too deep almost. Lucky to keep it alongside. Gonna go around the outside, gonna keep it. Here's Blue Goggy now, gonna take advantage. Can he go 3 wide? No, cannot. Aaron Ocon still trying to challenge, though, all the way to turn 9. Can't do so. And everyone having to run toe-to-toe-to-toe with him as well. You have Joe also trying to challenge Sam and Toneless at the back of this field, and Sam trying to challenge on Com to try to catch up to what will be the DRS train. And you have Rice Cracker trying to hang it around the outside of Jab, having to concede the position now after Jab on the newer tires gets by. Florian Foley gets by Rice Cracker, and now Pluto is trying to do so as well. But Pluto now going to be caught up behind him. Now going to go down the inside. Pluto going to be side by side. You don't usually see him over the last corner, but he gets through. Unbelievable. I just did not expect that from the last corner. I saw him trying for it, but I did not think he was going to do it. Thrasher goes a bit wide at turn 1. Rice Cracker trying to pull alongside still. This is amazing racing. This track provides some of the best racing I think you will see. And, you know, you go all the way back to Earlier this week, we saw a track selection form from the drivers released, and Abu Dhabi has been a part of that top 3 out of drivers who won it on the next season calendar. You could just see how much these drivers love this track and why they do. Perfect example. Here's Sam, Ricecracker now. Oh, Ricecracker has to let off. Here's Joe as well. Almost contact right there into turn 6. At the back of the field, and these guys still have a lot of relevance in this race, even though they're outside the points. It could matter if a safety car comes out. It could matter if their strategy gets changed up and they have the outright pace to catch people. Even though they're stuck in the DRS train right now, who's not to say that they have pace later on? Here's Joe and Sam trying to go side by side right now. Out of the exit of turn 9. Joe getting ahead of Sam. And he is up more places after the trouble to his race at the start. And now DRS for Lando. The Dino's lap. Chungus has made a mistake that will allow Lando to catch. And you have Joseph almost out to a 2-second lead. DRS enabled. That is what all these drivers will see on the run down to turn 6. Lando to being the first one of them. We could see him move here if he gets close enough, but he's not close enough. He had to use a bit of his battery to try to gain. I know I was talked about some drivers using their battery into turn 1. I said, why use it into turn 1? This is down to turn 5. The best chance you have to overtake somebody. You're just going to waste it at turn 1 and compromise your entry. Well, you can see Lando using it down to turn 5, and he's going to use it again to try to get by Chungus here. And he does do that. 30% of the battery, he does get through. Now jab on Gagi, and jab going to try to send one maybe on Aaron Ocon, but can't do so. Behind that, everybody just following the train right here. Chungus going to try to challenge back at Lando, but Lando is now cleared into 2nd place in this race. Behind that, jab again on Aaron Ocon. Can't get through. He's going to have to find some way at sector 3 now if he does not want fully to start the challenge as well as Pluto. I know there's a car that splits them, but, you know, who's to say that Gagi doesn't make a mistake like he did earlier in the race and spin out? That could be the difference. And that is what usually is the difference sometimes in these races. Here's jab as well, trying to challenge the end of the 3rd sector. We got yellow flags. That's Brew Gorgon in the Aston Martin. He is off. He could have had contact from somebody, or maybe lost it at that bump. That bump is a tricky bump to negotiate your way through. But you just have DRS from 4th all the way back to 15th. And you have Chungus trying to challenge again at Lando. Lando and Joseph keeping a just about content pace. 2/10 he lost that lap, I want to say, but Lando also did overtake Chungus in the time being. But Chungus had just a little bit of a slide there for a moment. Couldn't tell if that was lag. It may have been, but he's lost time to Lando off corner exit right there now. And behind that, Gagi on jab, who definitely has a little bit more straight line speed, but is going to have to try something in the train to get by. Here's Com and Thrasher now. Thrasher behind Pluto. Com now going to dive down the inside. Oh, almost taps Pluto, but Thrasher taps into him, and there's contact. Com is around, but saves it. And Joseph has to take evasive action. They're going to go 3 wide here. Sam around the far outside gets both them, and both Red Bulls nearly making contact with both wheels. And we've got yellow flags again. That's Brew Gorgon, but Sam still trying to hang it around the outside of Thrasher. Had to go wide, compromise his line. Sam's still going to try to hang it around here at turn 11. Oh, slides and does so on the inside line where that bump is. He will get through. Amazing racing here at the back of this field for points. And Com loses it. Com is around. And there you go. That's the difference in that. Pluto also gets by Florian Foley, who's also spun. He's had some trouble. And that definitely compromised Sam there because Joe is right on the back of him. And now Thrasher getting ahead of Ricecracker right there too. But that has definitely separated the train from Jab, who's already pitted, and Pluto, who already is pitted as well. That's now a 3-second gap between them. There was 2 cars separating them before. Now it's a whole 2 seconds. Toneless and Ricecracker are also close. But now the train that Aaron Ocon is in is allowing Jab to pull closer and maybe get in some slipstream, which could allow an overtake. Here's Aaron on Matty with a lot more ERS to use as well. And he's using it just well to get by. Aaron pulls in front of Matty and gets through. Matty goes a bit wide, though, trying to have to defend Jab. And now Jab is going to try the cutback around the outside. And it's going to pull Matty to the inside line. And with the help of DRS, Jab will get through, as well as the help of the battery. You know, they both had DRS there, but, you know, that battery is what changed that. And here's Toneless around the outside of Thrasher. McLaren versus Red Bull. Toneless still trying to hang it around the outside, trying to get the traction, can't do anything there. Now he's going to have a run to turn 10 and 11, but can't do anything from it. He's too far back. What amazing racing. I love this track, and it cannot not be on the next season calendar. And now that gap between Lando and Joseph, 1.7, that gap has gone down about 0.3 within the last 2 laps. And we've still yet to see the top 4 pit, as well as Matty Guggy, and now even Sam Steed has pitted, I was going to say, but never mind that. I thought he did. I thought he was yet to cross the line there. You would have think of that, but yeah. Racecracker's the one who has yet to pit as well from further back. And now Sam Steed on Pluto. Can Sam Steed make a move into turn 5 from this far back? No, not going to think of it. He's going to wait for the DRS, but Pluto sends him the invitation, though. Sam clips the curb in the process. And now it's overtake with Joe as well to help on the run down to turn 6. Sam used a bit of that battery. Joe has that straight line speed. Can Sam do anything from it? You know, I think Sam is the lone car out here in this train because you have Joe, who's got a faster car in the straight line and a lot more downforce than any other car. And you have Pluto as well, a lot more straight line speed. Jab gets by Aaron. Aaron has to concede the place there. Jab flew right by him. Now you got Sam on the inside line on Pluto. Gonna be side by side at turn 9. On the exit, Pluto having to get around the outside, but Sam cannot execute the overtake. This is costing Pluto time to try to catch Goggy. And even Jab, who is net leader technically. And Sam nearly pushing Pluto through the final sector. And because of the gap between Chungus and Lando, you have now seen Jab and Aaron catch up. Chungus pits, Joseph pits. That's all from the top 3. And Lando stays out, and he's looking to extend. The undercut is so powerful here. You don't want to miss out on it. Here's Sam trying to have a look on Pluto. Cannot get through. The two who battled so vastly in Season 1 and Season 2 for the championship are looking at it now. Sam's just looking for a top 10 of points, really, if you think about it. But here he comes. He's close. Can he get a move at turn 5? Pluto could see it coming, but Sam cannot do it, and this has pulled Thrasher, Toneless, and even Ricecracker along. Fastest lap for Florian, but now Sam in the slipstream, and he's a lot closer than the last time. Pluto having to use a bit of that battery, I think, to pull away, unless that's just the good amount of straight line speed that Haas has. Now Sam trying to pull the inside line for turn 7 or 6. Here he goes on the inside, gonna be side by side with Pluto. Pluto having to defending really well. On that warm-up lap, Chungus came out 2.5 behind Joseph. Or on that warm-up phase, I should say, not the warm-up lap. But here's Joe pulling to the inside of Sam. Joe to the inside line. Sam has to concede the place that time to back out from collision. Oh, and a slide from Joe! Sam almost got back ahead, but could not do so. Do we see Lando pit this time at the front of the field? Let's see. Does Lando pit? Yes, it does. Gotta be careful not to get warnings on that pit entrance or anything. Oh, we got crash. We have Toneless around. And that is at Latifi corner. Goggy, Matty, Lando, all pit. And they were all in the mediums. Aaron Ocon, the only one now to stay out, as well as Ricecracker. Ricecracker on the mediums, Aaron on the hards. Aaron, you're gonna bet he's gonna extend. But by how much? Blue Goggy onto the softs. A little bit early, but you have Matty, Lando, hards, and that undercut has worked beautifully for Chungus. He has got ahead of Lando. Now Lando with fresher tires is going to have to challenge Chungus go. But he's within DRS on the run to turn number 6, which will allow him to have a chance. And Joseph gets by Toneless as well. Yellow flag sets Brew Gorgon. Joe on the back of Pluto, trying to get through. It's the Joe and Joe battle. Gorgon spun. He does not have damage, luckily, so he can continue. Rasher now with Sam Steed. Sam Steed made a mistake, possibly, and that's going to allow a position swap here in front of that. Joe's going to pull to the inside. Going to be side by side at turn number 9. Joe, that powerful inside line will allow him to get through. And yeah, that mistake from Sam allowed Thrasher through, and Ricecracker has to also back out for that. He had to use the runoff line right there, which cost him a bit of time. And now Blue Goggy ahead of Matty Mimo, his brother right there. on the new fresh soft tires. Those hard tires take a little bit to warm up. So if Aaron is electing to pit for the mediums here, he will not have as bad of a warm-up phase as the front four did. But it is Thrasher pitting this time, as well as Rice Cracker. So now the only one yet to pit in this race will be Aaron Ocon at the front of this field, challenging Jab. And Jab looking for a second race win as well. Some may say it may be his first deserved race win, considering the virtual safety car shenanigans in Spain. But who's to say that Jeb would have not won that race anyway? And this could be a second race win. Thrasher coming out of the pits, Rice Cracker coming out of the pits. They'll at least be behind Matty Mimo, and now going to be behind Florian Foley. Well, it could be neck and neck with Florian and Thrasher, but Florian should get out ahead here. Yes, he does, but he just loses the rear and exit there. Now Chungus and Toneless. Toneless already pitted, but may have to pit again. He might try the two-stop Toneless. But here comes Chungus. Trying to go around the outside. Oh, gonna go pull to the inside. A little late. Gonna go side by side. Toneless on the inside line. Oh, almost a bit of contact. And Chungus goes ahead. Fair play to Chungus. We really pinched him. I thought they were gonna make contact, but they did not. Toneless back with the DRS though, trying to challenge. Around the outside, we got yellow flags. That is GBR20 Joe, who just passed Pluto right before, and it's got damage. Big to his race. It's even bigger that he's got damage. He will have to pit. Maybe this is his chance to go to the mediums again. And pull that sketchy two-stop that some of these guys who pitted under the first safety car for mediums could be doing. And Sam is going to be doing that. Joe surely does pit behind that. Is that Lando pitting? No, that's Toneless, the teammate. But Lando is now going to put some pressure on Chungus once again to try to get himself back in DRS and have a chance at possibly a podium, a race victory, who knows? Depends on if Pluto or Jab have to pit. You know, Pluto mentioned the difference in his pace. Pluto had to try something different. He will be definitely caught on the difference of tires between him and Joseph, but the matter is, with this track position, you know, is Pluto or Jab going to be at risk of a puncture? We'll have to ask ourselves that. Can Thrasher make a move here now into turn 5? Thrasher does not go for it. So he does break a bit early. We did see a collision in a real-life F1 race between Schumacher and Latifi there. And Lando just outside of DRS. Not helpful to his race, which Chungus is now 3 seconds behind Joseph right there. You know, the gap between these guys, 13 seconds, but the gap between Pluto and them is now down to 3.8, so they are catching. However, Jab's the one likely to defend from this. Aaron yet to pit. Aaron will be on the faster medium tires unless he's going softs. And now, Thrasher trying to pull to the inside line to defend Florian, but Florian's got the outside line here on the straight and trying to get ahead. He does do just that. Sam Seed as well in this little battle with Rice Cracker. Sam Seed also in the mediums, by the way, on this two-stop strategy. And now, pitting is Aaron Ocon. Everybody has pitted in this race. Chat, get us your predictions. How's that two-step going to work? And can Jab fend them off? Can Jab and Pluto's tires last the full distance? You know, with that safety car, the chance of them lasting the full race is more possible, but how worn are they going to be toward a puncture? We now have a spinner that is COM 45. Maybe lost it off the curb there, I'm thinking, if there's any place to really lose it there. And Rice Cracker, fastest lap for him. He's in this battle with Sam Steed, trying to catch up to Thrasher, who's also in this battle with Florian Foley. The gap between Jab and Pluto, 10 seconds, but the gap between Joseph and Pluto has really come down. So you know Joseph will be pulling Chungus and Lando along with him to gain. And that could be the matter of the podium between Chungus and Lando. I said it in the journalist notes, Chungus has found some pace at this end of the season, and he's really proving it. He's kept it consistent, he's just got to keep it for the last 11 laps. And here's Thrasher pulling alongside for 9th place. Oh, but he pulls right back in front, nearly causing a collision. Jeez. That was close. The two brothers, Matty Momo, Blue Goggy, dueling it out for 6th place. Goggy ahead on the soft tires. Does he really think the soft tires will go the rest of the race? Or is he trying to go to the mediums again and hope for a safety car? The softs do die quickly here, but the fact he's not been able to pull out from Matty is surprising. And race leader Jab is in. There you go. So that shows that his strategy was preferably, after that safety car, a two-stop, because you know now he's likely to go to the mediums, and he's going to come out anywhere from this range of Goggy, Matty, and Aaron. He's definitely behind Joseph and Chungus, but now it's up to Joseph and Pluto here to decide the remaining factor in this race. And even Jab, how much can he recover on those medium tires? Was that smart? Was that not? You know, that is the difference in strategy. That's exactly what I mean. And he comes out right between the two brothers. Matty knows he's got to warm up his tires a little bit. Is he thinking of a move here? Jeb's going to try to make a move here. Here's Joseph for the lead, though. Easy move. Very well done. Now Pluto could rather pit or defend second place here. When Jab on Goggy now to the inside line, going to pull to the inside. And he's going to have to challenge back from Lando and Chungus and Pluto. And side by side, there's contact! Jab's off the road! And now they're going to be nearly 3 wide. And Matty pulling to the outside of his brother. Going to be 3 wide. Jab losing time on the inside line. Having to give the place back, I think. And Nat cost him time, but he's going to pull to the inside still. Trying to still battle Goggy for this position for 6th place to try to make this recovery on the medium. It's going to be side by side in turn 10 and 11. And Goggy has to back out of that. That bump could have caused a collision, and Goggy knew that. Goggy knew that. From the amount of practice Goggy does, I think he knew that. He was smarter there. He knows he can live another day, and Jeb will pass Matty here soon. And speaking of pitting, Pluto is pitting. GSR Thrasher, 3-second time penalty. He's now spun. Or sorry, that's Joe. And the first track limit penalty in this big battle is Blue Goggy. He's also pitted, by the way. He's looking to go on medium tires, and now Jab is trying to gain on Matty Mumu. I saw a front wing change. Is that Pluto? It is. Possibly Pluto. Yes, I think that is Pluto. And Goggy's going for more softs? What? I can't believe that. I can't believe he's going softs. And Joe has now got a 3-second time penalty. That was a pit entrance. Here's Jab on Matty Mumu. And he is now retired from this race. I don't know if that's a give up or not. Where's Thrasher's name? Thrasher. There we go. Let's invite Thrasher. But Joe, I'm thinking maybe from that crash he could have had rear wing damage. Thrasher, who's lagged out of the session, has been overtaken by Sam Steed, who's also in this battle at Rice Cracker now. Here's Matty. 4th place. Being overtaken by Jab there. And now Jab with these medium tires. You know, Chungus and Lando, they're going to have to defend from this podium. I think they can maybe get overtaken by Jab. It depends on how much the medium tires do wear in 9 laps. But is he going to have enough raw pace in this tire to catch Joseph and Chungus? That's exactly what the safety car plays into you with the 2-stop. That is exactly what it does. And Thrasher does rejoin. He's going to rejoin right in this Race Cracker Sam Steed battle. Purple final sector from Jab. That was, I believe, his personal best right there. And the fastest lap right now is Race Cracker. So you can see the difference. And Pluto as well on the 2-stop, currently outside the points. With Thrasher's penalty, you know, with this big train from 7th to 9th, not really a big train, but with this train, big points on offer, really. Could change the way Pluto pushes it. You know, oh, we got moved down the inside. Rice Cracker on Thrasher, easily done with the ghosted car. But, no, as I was going to say, 9 laps to go, you look at this battle for points. Sam Steed, Rice Cracker, Thrasher, and even Florian now in the DRS, possibly. You look at the difference, and based on what you see, you just sort of have to wonder. Something happens here. Does Pluto have enough pace? You know, he's 8 seconds behind. But are those fresher tires going to be able to catch him back up? Florian may have to pit again on those mediums. Those mediums may not go the rest of the way. They could, but they're going to wear off if they do. So those are all important factors to consider. Pluto gets by toneless. Very easy move, but he has 7 seconds to recover. And, you know, Pluto was trying something different. I don't know if he would have been better off staying out or not. I don't know. But I think the fact that he chose to pit is showing that if there is a late safety car and everyone else pits, he's on the tires he prefers to be on, hopefully. So, who knows? See what Bergogon's doing in his return to Aston Martin. This race, he's 5/10 off in the first sector. See the second sector. It's off by 9/10. So, yeah, we can see, you know, with that data, as Pluto sets the fast lap, 10 lap mediums is, for someone like Foley, 9/10 lost in the first 2 sectors. Yeah, I mean, Foley's pace will drop off. Pluto should be able to get a point from that. But considering the tires Rice is on, considering the tires Sam is on, considering the tires Thrasher's on, and even the tire wear from them. Pluto's looking at a best of P7 if anybody's looking out for Pluto. So there you go. I think P10 is guaranteed, assuming there's no spins or safety cars or anything interesting, but just thought I'd point that out. And we have a gap getting even closer between Jab and Lando, and Jab is having a challenge back from pitting on the medium tires, and Brute Gorgon could potentially have a bit of rear wing damage here, and is almost about to get lapped. He has spun again. That may indicate rear wing damage with him spinning there. But yeah, Jab close to Lando. Now about to be in DRS. Lando also trying to catch Chungus. He's just getting so close to that DRS. He's not in it, but this could be the difference in Jab winning the race or Jab not. And how much are those mediums going to wear off by how much he is pushing to catch up to Joseph. You know, he's the only one who's really tried the two-step out of these top runners. Yeah, you go all the way back to Sam Steed, 7th place, tried the two-stop. Tried to find pace. Aaron Ocon in the mediums as well, but he's also trying to gain on Matty Momo too with Sam. So this could be the difference. Here's Jab. 3rd place on Lando. That podium is going to say bye-bye to Lando. That's the most laps Lando's run on the podium this season. Impressive race by him so far. Really matters in the qualifyings. But Jab having to defend that. Addo Chicane does not get DRS. Lando does, but he's pulled a big enough gap to where he should be okay. No, Lando's going to challenge us back. Here comes Lando trying to catch this podium. Lando around the outside. You know, I don't know if this battling is what he needs to catch Chungus, but he definitely needs to follow Jab with him to at least get DRS, and he will get DRS this time if he can stay in that gap. Shit, you know, this is pretty smart from Lando. I didn't think challenging back is what he would have done, but I'm impressed. As for Aaron, let's get him in right back. Oh no! Lando's picked up a 3-second time penalty. So, there you go. 4th place. That's the difference in the podium. Just gotta hope it doesn't get caught by Matty Momo now. And how will the teammate here help him? Here's Aaron Ocon. His ghosted car pitting him again. Why? Why? It's such a bummer for him. He's gonna be frustrated to see that. And they put him on softs. Well, there's your 10th place for Pluto. Thrasher 8th in the points. Trying for his first points of the season. So, there you go. There you have it. Now his teammate, the Williams boys, Chungus and Jab. How's Chungus going to defend for 2nd place and even possibly what could be a podium for Chungus here? To end off the season trying to catch the top 5 in the championship. He won't get top 5, but he can get ahead of Calm, I'm pretty sure. Don't remember exactly where he's at. You got yellow flag. Speaking of Calm, Calm is spun out. Jab goes by Chungus, breezes by him into turn number 9. And we've got 5 laps to go, this time with Jab. 2.8 behind Joseph. And trying to gain for what is a 2nd race win of the season for both drivers. And if they collide, you're looking at a 1st race win for Chungus or even Lando, who could appeal that 3-second time penalty. I would hopefully assume that is for pit entrance, because that could make the difference in him getting a podium and not. Guggy gets passed by Toneless Death right there for 11th place. I must say that two-step did not work out for Guggy, but it's worked out a lot for Sam and Jab, especially with the timing of the safety car for those drivers. The good thing for Chungus, he was in DRS. We've got a spin. I thought that was Lando for a minute. That's Cobb. That is at turn 9. But I was going to say, the good thing for Chungus is that he's in DRS. He lagged back for a second. I didn't think he was, but the good thing for Chungus, though, he's got DRS, he's got a bit of battery, and Jab can pull them along to maybe catch Joseph. So well, let's say Joseph is the lone guy here. That's still a battle for the podium between Chungus and Lando for what spot they will be on the podium. You got to remember, if Lando does appeal that penalty, he does get by Chungus or Jab or even Joseph. That's the podium for Lando. The first time 31 races. The longest streak out of anybody in this league. And Pluto goes by Florian Foley. Again, that was to be expected with the gap in tires between them. Calm. It's retirement in the pit lane for Calm. Calm might have picked up rear wing damage there. That's the end to his race, but 1.9 between Joseph and Jab. Once Jeb gets DRS, it's not like it's game over for Joseph because he has that straight line speed, but it is a bit of panic mode for Joseph. And the good thing from Chungus and Lando here, considering how far they were previously back, about 3 seconds, they're keeping within DRS of Jab, and if they can do that, Jab can pull them along, and Joseph will have threat from not only one driver, but possibly 3 in the late closing stages of the race. Gorgon lapped. Luckily, he's staying out of the way of lap cars, but looking to go for fastest lap. Goggy as well, a penalty. So Pluto does have the fastest lap. And Jab just barely out of DRS that time. Low on the battery, Joseph's got a bit more. And Jab now going to go below 10% here. But trying to gain a bit of time to get him in DRS. Chungus is in DRS, Lando is not. So that's the difference right there for third place on track. Fastest lap. I believe that was Aaron Ocon. Yes. And Jab did not get to open that rear wing there. But he may have a chance. Coming to 3 laps to go. Into turn 6. Depends on what this last sector looks like for Jab. Chungus is still pulling with him as well. You could just see what the DRS effect is doing to Chungus. All Chungus needed was that DRS, and there he is. Rice Cracker, Sam. Rice Cracker around the outside. Sam on the inside line, trying to hang it around. Rice Cracker goes a bit wide. Sam can't do much about it. 6th, 7th place right there, and there you go. There's that second gap that Jab needed. And Jab is within that second of Joseph for the lead. And Chungus is barely outside of it now, having to use that bit of battery he's got left to gain a Jab. Be in DRS this time. He might be just barely out of it, or might be barely in it. But the important thing for this race win is Jab is in it. Oh, Chungus is just barely outside of it. Is he going to be in it this time? Oh, I think he's out of it. No, he's out of it. He's out of that DRS. There you go. So for this lead, here's Jab on lap 27 out of 29 with DRS and with a very low battery, trying to get on Joseph into turn 6. Joseph's got more battery. That's his advantage. His advantage is the straight line speed, but Jeb's advantage is the newer, fresher tires and as well the DRS. On the run to turn 9, Jab pulls to the inside, gonna be side by side. Joseph's still trying to hang it around. Can he have the tire life to do so? Jeb loses the rear just a little bit, but gets ahead and gets onto the curb in the process. Is Joseph gonna challenge us back though? Can't do so right there. He's gonna have to rely on DRS and the overtake he's got left. Jab being on 10% could play a big factor in this battle. You see now that Jab's ahead and out of that dirty air. He can almost pull out of DRS here. Maybe close if he can do so. Into turn 5. Joseph loses the rear though. That could cost him. Gonna have to use a bit of battery. Into turn 1. 6/10 back now. A good thing for Joseph though. Could be DRS. Could be that straight line speed. That Williams loses at least a minimum of a 10th in straight line speed on these DRS straights. You take DRS into play, that's even more. You take Milo's battery, that's even more. He will be in DRS this time. 7/10, 8/10. Can it be close enough for Joseph to say something on the penultimate lap of this race? The gap is 8/10. Goggy's got a penalty. Foley's pitting. Aaron's got a penalty. And Joseph, look at the gap. He's closing it in now. Gonna have to rely on a lot in this last lap to challenge back, or Jab's tires to go completely off. Joseph missed the second part of the chicane there. That could cost him. 6/10 back now. Using a bit of battery, but that may seal the deal. We still got one more lap, but the gap is 3/10. And Joseph gaining on that fastest sector too. So you can see he's still pushing it. 5/10 that gap now. It is close between the two. Sam and Rice Crackers also close. And Joseph just barely in it still. He's gonna have to need a mistake from Jeb to bid that back in that DRS for one last lap. It's the last lap of the Season 3 season. And Joseph is out of that gap. He's gonna need a mistake from Jab here to get back in it, but Jab is just using the little bit of that battery he's got left and pulling away, but into this detection point. Joseph in it. He's going to be in DRS for one last time to challenge on lap 29 out of 29. DRS battery. He's using everything to get to jab on this last lap. 7/10, 6/10. He's closing that gap now. Can Joseph take a run at him? No. And now Joseph gaining on jab. But it cannot be enough unless he can say something on this final straight or the final sector if there's a mistake. No battery left from Joseph. No battery left from jab. Pluto and Thrasher trade paint in a position. And a mistake from Joseph. That will seal the deal. And Blogagi another time penalty. Jab enters the penultimate corner and the final corner this time in Abu Dhabi. He started the season off with a pole. Did not get the race victory in Australia. Had to wait a little bit. Started the final race off with a pole, and he's going to end it off with a win. Joseph, second place. Chungus third. And Lando spins out of the penultimate corner. That'll cost him fourth. He will be fifth. Sam crosses the line, 6th, Rice 7th, and Pluto and Thrasher, the last battle on track here. 8th and 9th, Pluto 8th, Thrasher 9th, and Toneless rounds out the final point. Jab wins the final race of the season, and Chungus another podium. The first time he's took back-to-back podiums. Well, Jab started off that season with that pole position, and he's going to end it off with another pole position and a race victory. And Gagi has now got a puncture on those soft tires. That makes sense with the 9 laps on them. Well, alright then. Well, hopefully he can finish the race. Gorgon, that last lap, retired from this race. And we'll get Jab and Joseph in here. I don't think Chungus usually joins the interview party, so we'll give him an invite just in case. Last race of the season, why not? Welcome along. Yeah, it was. Gagi almost screwed me. Oh. Let me have it. Yeah, I know. I gave Joseph an invite. I'll give him another one. Chungus usually doesn't join post-race interview. Don't know why, but I gave him an invite in case he wants to. We'll get Joseph in here one more time. I think I gave him an invite, but yeah. There you have it. The final podium of the season. All right, race results. And fastest lap as well goes to Aaron O'Connor. You know, it must be said, Jeb, Williams went a full season without scoring the fastest lap. I think the only team yet to, or not yet to do so, the only team that did not score fastest lap in the season. So
that's crazy.
That is. It's crazy to think about that with a pole. Anyway, I gave Joseph one more invite, and we'll see if he does join the post-race interview party. Let me check Joseph's stream to see where P5 bust. Oh, he's ended it. Okay. All right. Well, I think it might be you, Jeb. I'll get
Okay.
started with you anyway.
Alright.
Could be. Well, you know, the vice champion of the season takes win number 2. You know, I was really expecting you to go the full way. I was really surprised when you pitted, but I also wasn't, because I expected the 2-stop to be used even with the safety car. And then you recovered, and you had to hold off Joseph, who had such powerful straight line speed, kept himself in DRS for the last lap just by the skin of his teeth, and you ended up taking victory number 2. Talk to me about it. How did the car feel, and how were you able to do it?
The car was actually better than expected. Second 3 was a little, a little sketchy. Almost spun there a couple of times, but other than that, the car worked well. Qualifying, me and Chungus worked together. Was able to get us a 1-2 in qualifying. That set us up nicely for the race. And in the race, when the safety car came out, I was just like, let me try something different, because I knew the AlphaTauri had so much straight line speed that let me try to get me an advantage between the mediums and the hards. And we had a little thing with Goggy. I thought that was going to be the end of it, but somehow we were able to cut through the field and get the win.
Yeah, it's your second win of the season. In the long season it was. Took a while for that first win, but once you got that win, you showed that you aren't messing around, and you recovered the championship gap to go all the way to Japan. I know you crashed that last race, but do you feel like you sent a message to the drivers that, hey, now that I got my first podium, now that I got my first win, and now you're on win number 2 and pole number 2, that you can really contend for this championship next season?
Yeah, really. I wasn't really. The whole season really about a learning curve with the Williams. Early in the year, even though I did start on pole for the first race, early in the year I was kind of struggling with the rear end, not really learning, not really knowing like how to drive it. But lately, I've been figuring out what I need to do with the setup, how much downforce I need to put on the rear and the front end. And as we've seen today, that Williams has some pace today, even over my teammate, which we have a slight difference in setup. But I guess what I did made a little bit of a difference, and hopefully I can carry this momentum to next season.
Yeah, speaking of next season, do you think now that you were the vice champion of the season, you can now go challenge for the championship in season 3? What are the expectations looking like in the 12 race calendar? Do you think you can win more races than you did this season?
Definitely. I just gotta get some more luck, because obviously the start of the year, just some dumb mistakes or dumb luck, dumb safety cars at certain times. Got into some incidents at some tracks I think I could have won, like Hungary. But if I can clean those up, and Pluto keeps making mistakes in qualifying like he did today, then I think we can go for the championship, and hopefully Chungus is up there with me too, so we win the constructors.
And just recapping the season, 2 wins in the season, and even recapping today, I would say not really a lights to flag finish, but a pole to victory from you. How do you look at the season overall, and the race overall from today? Does this give you momentum? What do you kind of reflect on today?
For the season overall, I learned a lot. Learned how to race, who to race with, how do I race with them, who does what. Learn more about the competitors' cars, like what they're good at, what they're bad at, and some tracks I can improve on for next season. And for today, I kind of This is good because this track is on next season, especially if it's the finale or later in the season. That could be really good if I'm
Oh
in a
yeah.
championship fight. Um, so yeah, obviously today probably our best race of the season for Williams in general, and hopefully carry that momentum. Carried the Sebastian helmet today, and my
Saw
hero,
that.
my hero, got me into Formula One. Obviously a legend, and I won for him today.
There you go. That was impressive. And reflecting back on the season, how fun was it enjoying this second season of yours compared to the first when you were on a Haas? What was the difference you would say? And I would say you probably felt more comfortable from what I noticed, but how would you describe it?
For one, actually being able to compete, that's one. Um, Obviously, first season in the Haas, that Haas was dreadful in every which way. The Williams was obviously a lot closer, so I was able to battle more people, actually compete for wins, battle for podiums. I had a lot of fun. I should be able to battle people, and obviously today we saw I had some great battles. Was able to pass people. Most people were clean, some weren't, but that's just racing at the end of the day.
Yeah, most definitely. And my last question, I think I'm going to leave it off with you. Before we cap it off, you know, Pluto, who you contended with for the championship this season, have to ask. I know people talk about it and have been talking about it a little bit. Pluto changing cars, even with what we saw today, do you think it's something that should happen, or is there anybody else you think, in your eyes, should change cars in order to make it even more competitive in the league
Um,
for season 4?
I don't know if I was thinking about moving probably Polo up a little bit because I
Interesting,
feel
huh?
like yeah, it's interesting. But I don't know if he's racing next season. But I think
He
because
is
I raced with
last season for him.
yeah, but I raced with him and I think he deserves a better car because the Aston Martin I didn't really get to see, we didn't get to really see his full potential this season. I think it was holding him back. So, but obviously he ain't racing next season. So other than that, Pluto, some races at Haas was OP, but he just gotta extract the most out of it. And when he does, he's miles ahead of the field. But if he doesn't, like
Right.
today in qualifying, then so you know we'll see. We'll see how the arrangements go. But
I was gonna say, I would even say, like, if there's anybody that you didn't mention, I would say even like Maddie and Surfy. I know Surfy's race pace has been a lot better, but if you maybe change them, like Maddie can probably pull a lot of that Aston Martin and make them a competitive team. They only took one podium this season if we look back that far. So,
yeah,
maybe they could take more if you have someone like Maddie and Pluto in there, or even like Surfy and a Haas. Like, it'll be interesting to see
yeah,
if that's the case, if Haas can defend that. I know, like, a lot of people mentioned in the main chat last night about the difference with the Haas and the Aston Martin, or even the Williams. Like, when you tried the Haas last night, because I saw that on time trial. What did you feel the difference was, and do you think it's like that much faster to where it would say to Polo, hey, or even Surfy, like, hey, they're gonna be a little bit too OP maybe, or someone like maybe Pluto or Maddie, if they're putting an Aston, they'll maybe be too far off. What is your thoughts on that? Just in
um,
general.
well,
Curious now with
obviously,
that, since you tested that last night.
yeah. So what I've learned really is just the Haas has so much more downforce. Just in my experience, obviously I'm driving the Williams, so that is kind of expected. And it does have obviously the straight line speed. That obviously does help. It's basically free time. But Ludo always said that Iran was kind of snappy. I didn't experience that, but obviously I like an oversteery car, so maybe he. So I don't know what's going on with that. But I mean, let's say Polo does come back and he moved up. I think he'll be able to consistently be on balance for podiums. And
Yeah, it'd be good in his
yeah,
last league racing season, because he
yeah,
mentioned next season will be his last. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
yeah,
There's a lot. I mean, as for you, I can almost guarantee you'd be stayed put where you are.
yeah,
But as for everyone else, it's a big question as to who will drive for what next season, who will be full time. There's a good chance that, like, I would say probably 7 people could change cars or even change availability in full time or not. We'll have to see what goes on in this offseason because there could be a chance where that was some people's last race in the car that they were in. Anyway, on to the World Cup, on to F2, and on to the offseason. You know, F2 starts next week on the 27th. Make sure to tune into that. Jab, you're racing that, so good luck
Yeah,
in
I
that
know.
as well. A little off-season F2, that'll be nice. And yeah, next season should be starting beginning of January, and F2 season starts next week on the 27th, 12 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. UK. Catch us for then. Enjoy, and we'll catch you next time.